Welcome to the Tower Yoga Podcast, where we dive deep into the heart of yoga and community. Come along with us as we explore the transformative power of yoga, share insights, and inspire one another on this journey of life. I'm Kelly Williams, and I'm your host and the co-founder of Tower Yoga. Thank you for joining our yoga community. Today, we dig into the sound, the symbol, the vibration of Om. So, if you're someone who's like, hey, I know everything there is to know about that, then this might not be the episode for you unless you really love the topic and or you just want a refresher. Otherwise, say you are someone who doesn't know a ton. Maybe you've been in a yoga class and been invited to Om at the beginning or end. Perhaps you have looked at the Om symbol painted on a wall or seen it on a shirt or a pendant necklace, and you've been curious about the deeper symbolic meaning of what Om means. Then I think that you're going to take something away from this episode. So let's get right into it. So first off, what does Om mean? Well, it is oftentimes referred to as the sacred or primordial sound. It's considered the sound of the universe, believed to be the vibration from which the universe was created. So oftentimes it's linked metaphorically to the Big Bang. And in Sanskrit, Om is called pranava, which means to hum, and it's considered an unlimited or eternal sound. So Om is linked to Indian culture at large, Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism. Om is chanting is a spiritual practice in its own right. It transcends culture and religion and isms. It's inclusive of all possible definitions and interpretations of God or Brahma. You might have noticed that it has a couple different spellings. You've seen it maybe as O-M, that shorter version, or A-U-M. And I think, big difference between Om, O-M, and Om, A-U-M, is really the length of time it takes to chant them, and also like where or how or when you would use them in your practice. So O-M, the shorter version, is a short chant usually used at the beginning of a longer mantra. And A-U-M is a longer chant where each vowel sound can take 3 all the way up to 10 or more seconds. So those vowel sounds are really pronounced and elongated. Patanjali, who's the sage who compiled and taught the first and most comprehensive yoga scriptures, interprets these 3 stages as the beginning, middle, and end of all other sounds in the universe. So these stages or parts of Om, I should say. So A is the first sound in Om, and it's pronounced like AH, like ah, yes. And the U is pronounced like a long O or a double O. So it's a natural continuation of the sound that begins with AH. So it's pronounced like, oh, like when you remember something. And then the M sound is made by putting your lips together, almost like when you're saying like yummy. And that sound is So all together it's According to the Vedas, a set of ancient Hindu scriptures that this Om first originates from, is that the silence after the M in Om is known as Anahatanada, or pure silence. And some teachings define this part as something beyond sound or verbal comprehension, while others state that it represents a peaceful state of consciousness. And the silence after the M sound is like where or how the vibration lands. It is the Om itself as like a chant is incomplete without that little silence at the end. I, for a long time was like, what's the right or the wrong spelling? What's the right or wrong way to say it? And really, it's more about intention. Like, what's the intention? And it kind of goes like anything, like even thinking about in our postural practice, the yoga poses, sometimes we want to know what's the right or wrong way to be in warrior two, or what's the right or wrong way to like have my hips in this low lunge, right? And really, like, a better question is, well, what's the intention? So we have these general alignment cues or this kind of guidance system, but then the important thing really is, what's the intention? And I think it is similar for the chanting and other practices that extend beyond the postures. So in the Yoga Sutras, speaking of the Yoga Sutras from Patanjali, there's not an absolute ton on Om itself, but Sutras 1.27 through 1.29, as translated by the Tantra of the Yoga Sutras by Alan Finger, there's a part that says, "It is said that by repeating the sound of Om, the vrittis, or the thought loops, become still, and we can experience our true nature." That is kind of mind-blowing and or like, huh? But it turns out that what the ancient yogis had discovered has more recently been proven and backed by science. So there is a article that I'll have Farron link in the show notes, and it's from PubMed, and it's the neurohemodynamic correlates of Om chanting. It's a pilot functional magnetic resonance imaging study. So it's like a mouthful. I will say that this article was, for all intensive purposes, like riveting and exciting. That being said, it is like that typical dry academic research sort of vibe. So you might want to like get a cup of coffee and like, not be in a rush when you sit down to dig into this. But I'll make sure that that article is all linked up. A little part, if you're like, I'm in no way going to go to that article, I will share that some of the research, so according to that study, chanting the sound of Om stimulates the vagus nerve, which is responsible for triggering the parasympathetic response, initiating the down regulation of the body. So at the same time, areas of our brain responsible for triggered reactive states are shown to decrease in activity. So if you have a personal experience with chanting the sound of Om repetitively, you can draw your own conclusions, of course, and that's beautiful. It can be pretty exciting to see scientific evidence that like validates your experience, but in no way do you need that to validate your experience. It can be cool, but it doesn't have to be there in order for you to just honor your experience alone. So more of the spiritual and philosophical significance will continue on down this road. As I said, Om represents the sound of creation, and it also represents the connection to the divine. The divine, however you receive that, however you connect to something, I don't want to say bigger, but deeper. It embodies the concepts of unity, infinite wisdom, and the interconnectedness between all sentient beings. Om is a tool for meditation. It's a pathway, as I said, and a practice in its own right to self-realization, leading one to go inward. It's got this symbol, and the symbol itself, it's got so much meaning within it. So maybe you can like pull up the symbol or you can bring it to your mind, and I'll kind of speak on that a little bit. So the Om symbol has its, 3 curves, and the lower curve represents the waking state, so like the conscious state. And the middle curve signifies the dream state, or the, state between, kind of between waking and sleeping. And then the upper curve represents the deep, dreamless sleep, or the unconscious state. The dot is the state of transcendence or pure consciousness, and the semicircle above represents Maya, or the layer of illusion that impedes spiritual enlightenment or separates us from higher understanding. So Om is a visual representation of human consciousness and our journey toward enlightenment. So what are some ways that Om is applied in yoga? Well, Om is incorporated in yoga culture and individual yoga and meditation practices in many, many ways. One of them is to symbolize the philosophy of yoga. So a visual representation that reminds us of the deeper teachings. And that's why you might see it on a yoga mat or a shirt or painted on the wall. It's why someone might wear it as like a necklace or even like earrings or something like that. It's similar to why someone might wear, a cross. It's not just because like, oh, it's this beautiful piece of jewelry, although it can be that, that's fine. But also that it's a reminder. And we all need reminding, don't we? It's applied in yoga as a way to connect to the oneness of all things. So as yogis, we chant Om to begin or end a practice sometimes. It's common to repeat the sound together as a class, anywhere from 1 to 3 times. You can chant the sacred syllable alone by yourself, like I did today in the bathtub, and then I was like watching the vibration of the water change and then letting everything kind of come to stillness and then doing it again. That was really fun. Highly recommend that. But you can also chant it together as a group. There's times where I've gotten together with friends or students and we've done what's called or created what's called like an Om chamber, where we sort of all like start in that Om, and then you can just kind of add your voice in as you go. And so we're like kind of harmonizing, and it's really, really fun. And, it's in coordination with intuition and like conscious breathing. So super beautiful. Om can be applied in yoga as a way to harmonize systems of the body. So the sacred sound that creates vibration is known to balance and harmonize the nervous system, as I shared, through the energetics of what's going down as a result of the sound. Om can increase the quality of meditation. So focusing in and up towards your third eye chakra with your eyes closed while chanting Om can help deepen your state of meditation. And Om can be used to form more complex mantras. So you can add Om to other Sanskrit words to create it more dynamic or complex mantra. It's used in mantras, for instance, Om Mani Padme Hum, which is part of some Buddhist teaching. So many ways to incorporate Om. I encourage you to incorporate Om in your own practice for deeper spiritual alignment by chanting alone or in a group, by maybe getting the Om symbol and like hanging it somewhere to remind you of the deeper philosophical teachings of yoga. You might even want to print out an Om symbol and like color it, or maybe you're an artiste and you want to do like a watercolor of the Om symbol. There have definitely been times where I've just kind of sketched in my sketchbook the Om symbol repetitively and sort of meditated on that and let it be its own kind of practice. So that is a pretty condensed go at the deeper meaning of Om. I hope that you took something away, something that was really cool and interesting to you. Like I said, if you kind of like to geek out on the scientific research of things, then please do see that link that we will be putting in the show notes. And if you have anything else to add or chime in, then please comment. You can email us at hello@toweryogafresno.com, and you can share anything that you think is interesting. I want to end this episode with an Om, and we'll do it as like a little practice together. So if you are somewhere where you can close your eyes, great. But if not, keep them open. And let's take one deep breath in together. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, heavy sigh out. And then we'll inhale for Om. Inhale. Namaste. Thanks again for listening in and joining our yoga community. If it so resonates, please share this episode with a friend. Remember, the inner light of awareness within me honors the inner light of awareness within you. Until next time, stay grounded, stay present, and keep flowing with grace.